Today we are talking about losses present in optical fibers. So the propagation losses present in optical fibers are due to bending, or due to absorption, or due to scattering, or due to dispersion present in the optical fibers. So whenever light is propagating through an optical fiber, some of the energy is lost due to different mechanisms which we have discussed just now. So during that time, some amount of optical power is lost. So the optical power which is lost during the propagation is generally measured in terms of decibels per kilometer. Okay, so that means the loss of energy is dependent on the length of the optical fiber cable. So if the length of the optical fiber increases, so then the propagation loss is also increased. Okay, so that is why the attenuation loss, which is the ratio of optical output power to the optical input power, so it's generally given by the expression, so alpha equal to 10 by L log Pi by P naught. So here L is nothing but the length of the optical fiber cable, so which directly links propagation loss. That means if length is increased, so during that time the propagation loss is also increases. And here Pi is the optical input power which is launched at the optical fiber cable core. And whereas the P naught is the optical output power which is received at the receiver. So during the propagation of the signal, so there are many obstacles present inside the optical fiber cable. So because of them, so we may lose some amount of energy which should be delivered properly at the output. So this is nothing but the propagation loss. So we have various propagation losses present in the optical fibers. So those are nothing but absorption losses, scattering losses, bending losses, and dispersion loss. So now let us discuss what is absorption loss. So absorption means what? If something is taken inside of any material, that is nothing but the absorption. So absorption loss will occur in case of optical fibers. So whenever there are imperfections present in the atomic structure of the glass or plastics, that means we have discussed that the optical fiber cables, core and cladding, especially made by either glass or plastics. So whenever these kind of materials are being manufactured, so if there is any imperfection present in the manufacturing process, or else some kind of impurities are present in the manufacturing process, these are come under the manufacturing defects. So due to the presence of all these kind of imperfections in the atomic structure of the material, so some amount of the light energy is being taken inside of the glass. That means the photons present in the light rays are absorbed by the glass material. So this leads to the absorption loss. So the absorption loss is broadly classified into two types. Those are nothing but intrinsic absorption, and another one is extrinsic absorption. So first one, intrinsic, means inside. So though the glass is very much pure, okay, so the glass has the ability to absorb the photons, okay. So whenever these photons interact with the components or molecules present in the glass with which it is made. So generally glass is made by silicon dioxide, okay, soap and P2O5 like that, okay. So whenever these materials interact with the photons, so there the glass may absorb that photons, so which leads to the intrinsic absorption. So though the glass is very much pure, so it can absorb the light in the ultraviolet range and infrared range. So that is why intrinsic absorption is completely due to the atomic imperfections present in the glass. So this leads to loss of power, which leads to intrinsic absorption. And another one is extrinsic absorption. So here the absorption is due to the presence of impurity molecules, but not because of the glass. Okay, so that is the variation between intrinsic and extrinsic absorption. So intrinsic absorption is due to the only the components present in the glass, okay, with which it is made, whereas extrinsic absorption is due to the presence of impurity molecules such as which we have mentioned here, like iron, chromium, cobalt, copper, or else the presence of hydroxyl ions which are resulted from the moisture or humidity present in the air. Okay, so while the glass is being manufactured, we cannot say that any material is perfect and pure. So some amount of the other materials get so they get included while the particular material is being manufactured. So if such kind of metals are entered in the process of manufacturing of that glass, so due to the impurities, okay, so which we have discussed now. So due to the presence of impurities, if the glass is if the photons are absorbed by these kind of metals, okay, such as iron, chromium, cobalt, and copper. So if the photons are absorbed by these kind of metals that are entered while the glass is being manufactured, so then some amount of the optical energy is lost. So this is nothing but extrinsic absorption. Okay. So intrinsic absorption is due to only the materials with which the glass is made by. So whereas extrinsic absorption is due to the presence of impurity molecules present in the glass due to some disturbances or else any kind of manufacturing defects. So anyhow, through the process of intrinsic absorption and extrinsic absorption, some amount of the photons are lost, which leads to the absorption loss. So if we lose some amount of photons, at the output we will get less amount of output power. So which creates the propagation loss. And another kind of loss we may experience in optical fibers is nothing but scattering loss. Scattering means what? Focusing the light in different directions. That is nothing but scattering. So, due to the variations, okay, so present in the material density, that means while the glass is being manufactured, if there is any kind of misproportions are being used, so then there can be change in material density. So, it is due to the manufacturing defect. So, it leads to some kind of what we have discussed previously. So while manufacturing of the glass materials, okay, so some amount of impurities may get frozen into the glass. So for example, that moisture is unavoidable. So though we are trying to eliminate the other kind of metals, moisture and humidity are unavoidable. So we cannot avoid moisture that is present in the air. So due to that, some amount of the hydroxyl ions will get entered in glass. So that is why there can be impurities which cannot be avoided. So due to the presence of such kind of impurities, okay, so there can be fluctuations present in the glass with which actually it is made by SiO2 compositions. So due to the presence of these impurities, there is variation in the composition of the gas, so which leads to scattering losses. So these kind of impurities become a source of reflection in
Ma'am,
optical fibers. Losses is nothing but scattering losses. So scattering is nothing but spreading light in different directions. So due to the presence of imperfections or presence of hydroxyl ions present due to the moisture. So there is means these all act as a source of reflection or refraction and scattering. Okay, so these imperfective materials may cause disturbance in the light, or means they cause loss of optical power. So by spreading the incident light in all directions, so this leads to scattering loss. So whenever such kind of scattering occurs, so the light signal which has to be traveled inside the optical fiber, so will travel in different directions and escape from the core. So whenever light signal escape from the core, so there is a loss of optical power, so which leads to scattering losses. So at the receiver we will receive less amount of power due to this. And if we consider, if we calculate the scattering loss, so it is mostly wavelength dependent. So scattering loss is directly proportional to the 1 by lambda power 4. That means whenever uh, the wavelength of the incident light is small, so at that time the scattering loss is very much more. So if the wavelength of the incident light is large, then these scattering losses can be minimized. So this is the only way to stop the scattering losses present in the optical fiber. So scattering loss is directly dependent on the wavelength. So by selecting proper wavelengths of signals which to be traveled through the optical fiber core, so we can minimize the scattering losses. By selecting larger wavelengths, we can minimize the scattering loss. And coming to the another loss present in the optical fibers, it is nothing but the dispersion. So dispersion is nothing but the spreading of the pulses. Okay. So whenever different modes of light signals, light waves are traveling through the optical fiber core, so they all travel at different velocities because they have a different wavelengths. And already we have discussed in the previous lecture, many kinds of modes are supported by multimode fibers. So that is why we will have time delay for each mode of the light signal. So this it creates time delay, which finally creates the spreading or broadening of the pulse, which is received at the output. So here you can see in this diagram, so we have given the incident light input pulse, so in the form of sinusoidal wave. So it is propagated through the optical fiber core by the process of internal reflection. So since it can support multiple modes, so higher order mode signals will travel slowly, but they travel means they choose the path of least length, whereas lower order modes they travel fast, but they choose very longer lengths to travel. So due to this time delay, so at the output, so there can be overlap in the output pulses due to these disturbances present in the time delays. Okay, so this leads to the spreading or broadening or overlapping of the signals present at the output. So this process, okay, this kind of a spreading or broadening through the optical fiber, so which is received at the output, is nothing but the pulse dispersion. So which creates some amount of the power loss that occur at the output. So we have two kinds of pulse broadening dispersions. Okay, those are nothing but intermodal dispersion, or another one is intramodal dispersion. So intermodal dispersion. So inter means it happens between different modes of signals. Intramodal means it happens only within single mode. Okay, so that is the main difference between these two types of dispersion losses. So first let us discuss what is intermodal dispersion. So here if you look at it, so we are giving the incident light which can be incident inside the fiber optic core at different angles of incidence. So due to the variation present in the incidence angles, so we will have different modes of propagation inside the optical fiber core. So we have axial rays which travel along the fiber optic axis. We have higher order rays, okay, so that travel from less distance but travel slowly. And we have lower order modes, okay, so which choose longer path to travel but they travel quickly. So like that we have different zigzag rays available inside step index multimode fibers. Okay, so due to the propagation delay of these different modes, so there can be a overlapping of pulses at the output. So which leads to intermodal dispersion, and finally it reduces the amount of optical fiber. Next, coming to the intramodal dispersion. So intramodal, that means it is present only within single mode. Single mode in the sense, so that can happen in the axial mode separately, or else it can happen in the higher order mode separately, or else it may happen in the lower order rays separately. So if such kind of dispersion is present only within single mode, that kind of dispersion is known as intramodal dispersion. So we have two types of intramodal dispersion. So those are material dispersion, another one is waveguide dispersion. So let us discuss first what is material dispersion. So material dispersion or chromatic dispersion or spectral dispersion. So these are the different names available for this. So it is wavelength dependent. That means, so whenever we have different wavelengths, so the wavelengths which are short range means whose wavelengths are small, they travel slowly inside the optical fiber core. So whenever we have larger wavelengths, okay, whose wavelengths are greater, so those travel very quick inside the fiber optic cable. So due to this, there can be a pulse spreading occurs at the receiver. Okay, so though they have preferred to choose along to travel along the axial rays, or else they choose only to travel as higher order or lower order modes. Okay, so though they have different wavelengths, so since they travel at different velocities, so at the receiver there may be a overlapping or pulse broadening may occur, okay, due to the variation of the refractive index and due to the variation present in the incident angles inside the fiber optic core. So this leads to material dispersion, so which is nothing but the pulse spreading or overlapping of the pulses. So this is all due to the change of refractive index of the core with respect to wavelength. So that is why material dispersion occurs. So which reduces the amount of optical power at the receiver. And the other dispersion is nothing but waveguide dispersion. So this happens due to the guiding properties of the waves. Okay. So we know that we have core is the guiding material or guiding medium present inside the optical fiber cable. So if you choose different zigzag rays, okay, so these are either higher order rays or lower order rays based on the length of the path they travel. So though they have different wavelengths, so due to the variation present inside the incidence angles, okay, so that are how at what angles they are incident inside the fiber optic cable, so there can be a time delay, so which leads to pulse broadening. So finally there is a loss of signal power which is created by the waveguide dispersion. So this is how the waveguide dispersion will occur. So here we have one higher order ray, so whose wavelengths are varied from lambda 1 to lambda 2. So lambda 1 has a time delay with respect to lambda 2. So though they are following in the same mode, so there is a time delay between those two due to the difference of incident angles present between those two. So that is why the pulse broadening can occur at the receiver, so which creates loss of power, that is nothing but the waveguide dispersion. And another loss which we generally experience in optical fibers is nothing but bending losses. So bending losses are occurred due to the bending of finite radius of curvature present in the optical fiber. So bend means so whenever something is bent, okay, so then there can be a composition variation present in the bending. So due to that, the total principle, that is nothing but the total internal reflection, may not happen correctly. So that is why the signal which is traveling through the fiber optic cable, so may escape from the core and enter the cladding, and amount of the light energy is lost. So we have two types of bends. Those are nothing but macro bends. Another one is microscopic bends. Microscopic bends. So macroscopic bends. First one is macroscopic bends. Macro means what? Macro means large, right? So whenever there is a large bend present in the fiber optic cable, so you can see it here. So it is bent very large. Okay. So due to the presence of this large kind of bend in the fiber optic cable, so there is a change in the radius of the core with respect to fiber diameter. So due to this, what happens whenever light is incident at the core cladding interface, so the light enters the core and it has to undergo total internal reflection. So due to the bend present in the fiber optic cable, so the light ray will not follow total internal reflection. Okay, so it will escape from the core into the cladding and then finally it is lost. That means there is no chance of propagating that kind of incident light. So when there is a bend present in the fiber optic cable, so the light signal is finally lost. So we will not observe any amount of information at the receiver. This kind of loss is nothing but macro bending loss. And another one is nothing but micro bending loss. Micro means small, right? So small, these bends are very, very small. Even the person who is operating with optical fiber cable can't even see that. So this happens due to the manufacturing defects. So when there is non-uniform pressure created during the cabling or installing of the optical fiber cables. Okay, so when there is um, when the when our fiber optical cables are making, okay, so if the making is not perfect, or else while it is installing, so if there is pressure created on the inside walls of core or cladding, so they may bend, so which cannot be seen by the human eye. We may think that we have installed the cables properly, but while we are operating them, so there can be a pressure involved on that kind of cables. So due to that, there can be small bends will happen in the core or cladding. So this leads to micro bending loss. So whenever such kind of manufacturing defects or installing defects create microscopic bends, so at that time, if you look at the incident light, which is incident inside the core, so here you can see small portions of micro bends. But it can be shown only in diagram, but we cannot see this microscopic bends with our normal eyes. So that is why it is very difficult to avoid such kind of micro bending losses. So whenever incident light is incident inside the core, so it will undergo total internal reflection. But due to small bend present inside the core, so those loss will escape from the core and finally the energy is lost. So the microscopic bending losses are very powerful than macroscopic bending losses, because we can see the macroscopic bends with our eyes, so that we can replace that fiber optic cables, we can put new ones. So where there is no bending at all. But microscopic bends, we can see them with our eyes. So that is why while choosing optical fiber cables, we have to select the fiber optic cables, core and cladding and sheet. Okay, so those should be very, very finite ones. Okay, there should not be any manufacturing or installing defects present in the fiber optic cables. So then we are able to avoid microscopic bending losses. Okay, so all these are the reasons why we are losing energy from optical fibers at the receiver. So if we can minimize the losses, the optical fiber technology is the most powerful one. So here we can see the applications of optical fibers where these can be used. So optical fibers can be used in communication very well. So because these have very large bandwidth, so that means these can operate at 10 power 5 megahertz. Okay, so these can handle more number of channels. So that is why this optical fiber communication is mostly in television communication for handling large number of channels, which we are able to watch now. So before we have only copper cables, so where only the number of available TV channels are only 100, but now we are able to view thousands of channels because of the higher bandwidth available in optical fibers. And the other use of optical fiber cables is we can use them in defense services. So in defense services, so these are helpful for security concerns. That means whenever we are guiding the missile from ground level, okay, so for that missile we are going to mount sensors, so which can transmit the video information to the ground level section. So this video information is recorded by the sensors and is transmitted by the help of optical fibers, so to the ground level. So based on that information, ground level give commands to the missile such that it can hit the target correctly. So this is how optical fiber cables are helpful in defense and military services. And another use of, another application of optical fiber system is in the transmission of digital data from computers. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about lasers, right? So lasers are able to transfer data from one computer to another computer in local area network. So lasers which are guided by the optical fiber system, actually we are going to use in transferring digital data from one computer to another computer. Similarly, optical fibers are used in medical field. Okay, so endoscopy and eye cataracts. So here also laser along with the fiber optic cable. Okay, we are going to generate the light, and that light is transmitted to the optical fiber cable, and inside the stomach, okay, it is sent to the inside of the stomach, so where the unseen parts of the stomach can be diagnosed in the process of endoscopy. Similarly, so this laser along with the fiber optic cable is used to treat the cataract, and hence it can be used to attach the retina, so where the visibility is not proper. So whenever a person has eyesight problems, so due to the retina, so this laser along with the fiber optic cable is used to attach that retina once again in a proper position with the help of optical fibers. So like this, we have several applications of optical fibers.